And you know what? This is for CNN. All sources, international politics, and just regular old CNN, who seems to have serious mental deficiencies that are now at an epic level. Everyone else is shutting their mouth because they know Trump just dropped another hammer on Canada, European Union, and Britain with its new trade arrangement is keeping quiet. It's amazing. But I want to hit this hard. 3 facilities hammered to the core, and one of which houses enriched uranium that didn't get moved. Nobody is going to hammer the enriched uranium that sits at about 60%, not weapons grade. The other 2 absolutely obliterated nuclear facilities, obliterated, never going to be recovered, monumental task, equipment crushed, destroyed, is where the enrichment process happens. The one that's the deepest, that's out, they say, of range, it's not out of range. No idiot. No idiot. And folks, if you don't know, USA is responsible for Iran's program all the way up to 1953. That's the tech they used. Not so dissimilar to the Soviet Union and now Russian Federation, who still hasn't got that agreement with Iran because Iran must make major concessions. And that regime will not make the concessions needed to satisfy Russia, China, or USA. They are P5 powers, and it's really easy to figure out. 24th province of China, looking like 88th Oblast of Russia, and 51st state of USA. If Iran can't do any of those things, they can't have a nuclear program, not since 1970. 1970. And in 1979, that was it for USA, but even earlier, much earlier, they said no way. And that was called the Non-Proliferation Agreement. Again, I've gone through this in tremendous detail. Those sites are obliterated. The enriched uranium's buried, can't be accessed. Maybe in a few months it can be, so it can be accounted for. If anyone doesn't understand this, I'm going to be showcasing you something very special called World Constitution Day. I'm going to be doing that with a good friend of mine from the United States, who also is a Pulitzer Prize winner in the United States, mathematical genius and constitutionalist. Incredible genius. But you know what other day he does in the world? World Nuclear Day. Yeah, he's that smart, he's that gifted. He also does World Nuclear Day. I work in nuclear. I've studied the US and Russian systems intensely. No one is going to drop penetrating bombs to enriched sources of uranium. They've crushed the exits to that facility. Nobody's digging that out for many, many months. USA has a meeting with Iran, and they're going to have that early this week, probably before July 4th, where Canada gets smashed so hard, so hard. But folks, and this is really for CNN and their propaganda, who's starting to look like they're more like a BBC, like a CBC Canada. Very pathetic. And this is an American organization, largely corrupted. If you look at all the anchors, all the news persons, they all have British accents. Doesn't that bother Americans? I don't know. Sometimes I move the phone around. We'll try that. Folks, the reality is USA obliterated Iran's capacity to ever enrich or do any of that massive $1 trillion invested work ever again. Not for such a very, very long time. The equipment alone, that's all destroyed. The enriched uranium is trapped in one site where they've devastated both entrances to. It will take many, many months to get at that enriched source uranium where it's stockpiled deep, deep underground. It's at 60%. This isn't stuff you play around with. This isn't stuff you blast penetrating bombs through concrete and explode. And the next thing you know, you've got a contaminated Iran. That's reality here. And you know what? I don't know how CNN, with their capacity, their vast resources, can't figure any of this out. Can't figure any of it out. And in fact, comes out with propaganda stories. It's pathetic. As pathetic as the BBC or CBC. It is terrible. It's ugly. It's gross. Don't listen to the rhetoric. Iran is completely unable to do anything with that uranium except for account for it and turn it over to the Atomic Energy Agency worldwide, which is the P5. And this will be all of them. Iran's only way out so far, there's several offers which have always been on the table. USA has an offer, Russia has an offer, and China has an offer. All of those offers don't include the Iran regime of Islamist State, because none of those governments are compatible with the Islamist State. That system doesn't work in any of those countries, and they have to lose that. And they don't want to, just like Canada. I won't lose my crown. Well, you're going to lose your ability to make enriched uranium, which you've lost completely, at a cost of $1 trillion USD to Iran and Iranian people. They're never going to be able to build that up. It'll take many, many decades and a massive investment that I don't think they can afford, and they're not going to want to. USA is going to come up with a deal. They're going to get access. USA equipment will probably be in there. We got to let it all play out. And they will get that, and they will safe state that enriched uranium. This will be over the next several months. This isn't something you can do in a day. USA knows exactly where it is. Presidents don't tell you why or what, because it's supposed to be kept under wraps. And it's pathetic when you see people who talk like this, when higher minds who are at work here, higher agencies that USA works with are at works here, and that means the allies of World War II. That's their job. And if you ever want to know it, you just have to get off your fucking ass, CNN, and go read every single United Nations Security Council resolution. And you don't even have to do that, really. You could search it in nuclear, and you're going to get a tremendous amount. Sure, it might take a team that you can easily assemble, may cost you several tens of thousands of dollars, but you'll get your answers literally since World War II till now. You'll get all your answers in probably just a few days with a good research team and investment of tens of thousands of dollars. But you don't want the truth. You want to craft a narrative that makes no sense to anyone who understands nuclear or who's read all those documents in detail. And no one with any kind of concept of nuclear would ever listen to anything you say or read the documents you're providing or these leaks from generals you're providing and see that as any other thing than ending Iran's capacity to ever enrich or do anything with nuclear ever again, and that they've safe stated and removed Iran's access to the stockpile of enriched uranium. That's what's happened here. And God bless America, everybody, because a trigger-happy idiot would have blew that up, and then you would have killed so many umpteen amounts of people. Like Donald J. Trump stated, it was an attack like Hiroshima and Nagasaki without the effects of Hiroshima or Nagasaki, because that could have easily been had they done that penetrant missile system on that enriched stockpile. No, they've made sure that nobody can get access for that without hard work and equipment over many, many months. Us in the construction industry understand just how much cleanup's required when you level a concrete structure high rise, never mind something of that scale under the earth. And the Americans have done that very safe, stately, handedly, like nobody else could ever do in the world. That was a top-notch system of attack, planned, calculated, deadly accurate, like no other nation in the world could ever hope to perform right now. USA miles ahead of everybody on that particular nuclear attack, where they safe stated the enriched uranium, and they will get it accounted for. It's going to take probably months, and USA's already in a meeting with Iran next week. That's facts. These facts don't lie, and Iran pushes it any further. They can talk tough on TV to their own people, but they're going to be walking the line with USA within a week. We're going to see that. There's not going to be a World War III with Middle East. There's never going to be, because they're not P5 allies. Never again. Learn it. I don't understand how people are even allowed to report that when you say you're the media, you're press, you're for the people, it's a right of the people. At least you're saying you still have big media corporations propagandizing so many things that everyone in the world should know. I have no respect anymore for CNN. I put them right in there with BBC and CBC. But again, just go look at a lot of these videos and the anchors and the newscasters. Why don't they have American accents? Has anyone in America asked that question? Why don't they have American accents? What, 342 million people? You can't find competent, qualified journalists for CNN from America with American accents? Webster born and raised American accents, at least identifiable in the 50 states? You couldn't find anybody? You need these foreigners? There's something very wrong and evil. And we've seen this with the Democrats, but now it's really showing itself. That's my video, folks. Important share. Get it out there. It's critical. It's credible. It's real. And certainly verifiable. And you can look at all of that. Just an immaculate system of destruction of what needed to be and what needed to be isolated and protected, like nobody else could hope to do in the world. Very, very professional, very, very way up modern, the most modern advanced system of that kind of attack ever even conceivable in this day and age. Perfectly done. Iran is not able to do any nuclear enrichment or go forward in any program. And the stockpile, again, is in a safe state. Many months to get that out, and America's going in next week. If CNN can't present this story as it really is and how it should be, I don't know what to tell you. It's very sick. And what do we all see, folks? Here we are, how many days later? Wow, ceasefire still holding. Wow, no attacks, no war. I guess after what USA did, I would be going, wow, they just devastated our most secure facilities that were supposedly bulletproof, are completely vaporized, and they protected our rich source. They knew where that was. Do you think that Ayatollah is sitting there is sitting there going, if he said and did that, and then he said he could kill me and he knows where I am, it's probably true within 8 inches of your life. That's my video. Again, credible, real, verifiable. Share, share, share. Get it out there. Don't listen to the propaganda. I know it's so hard. Canadians and even Americans are getting brainwashed into this left bullshit. It's scary. It's really, truly scary just how evil this globalist system really is, and that there's so many warmongers and cravers of it. It's disgusting. That's my video. Bye now.